The orbital docking station above Kepler 442b hummed with the usual cacophony of interstellar commerce. Evan Chen walked through the bustling marketplace, his worn jacket marking him as just another human freight hauler trying to make ends meet in the outer colonies. The galaxy had opened up 30 years ago, but humanity still occupied the bottom rung of the Galactic Consortium's social ladder. He was reviewing his data pad, calculating whether his latest cargo run would cover ship repairs. When the screaming started, Evan's head snapped up. A Vexalian child, no more than waist-high with iridescent purple skin and 4 curious eyes, had wandered into the landing zone. Above, a massive Crithian cargo hauler was descending, its pilot clearly unaware of the tiny figure frozen in terror below. 9 tons of reinforced durasteel falling at terminal velocity. Time crystallized. Evan saw the child's guardian, a female Vexalian, reaching desperately from behind a safety barrier. He saw station security too far away, their shouts lost in the roar of engines. He saw the shadow of death spreading across the platform. His body moved before his mind caught up. Evan sprinted forward, boots hammering against metal grating. The rational part of his brain screamed that this was suicide, that humans were fragile compared to most species, that he had exactly 0 chance of surviving. But there was a child standing in the kill zone, and every fiber of his being refused to let that stand. He hit the child like a linebacker, wrapping his arms around the small body and hurling them both sideways. He felt the displacement of air as 9 tons of Starship crashed down exactly where they'd been standing. Then he felt the edge of the cargo hauler clip his left side, and the world became pain and spinning darkness. Consciousness returned in fragments. Sterile white ceiling, the acrid smell of Bactigel, voices speaking in multiple languages harmonized by translation chips. The human survived? Impossible. His bone density readings are insane, and look at these regeneration metrics. Get Commander Hannah. She needs to see this. Evan's eyes fluttered open. He was in a med bay, but not the cheap station clinic he'd expected. This was military grade, judging by the advanced equipment and the armed guards stationed outside his door. Guards wearing the crimson and gold of the Galactic Defense Force's elite units. The door hissed open and Evan's breath caught. She moved like liquid violence, each step deliberate and controlled. Commander Hannah Reeves was human, one of the rare few who'd earned rank in the GDF, and she looked at Evan with eyes that had seen 1,000 battlefields. Her dark skin bore the silvered scars of plasma burns, and her uniform displayed commendations that most species only dreamed of achieving. Evan Chen, she said, her voice carrying the weight of authority. Freight hauler, 42 prior citations for reckless flying, 3-bar fights, and apparently a death wish. Evan tried to sit up and immediately regretted it. The kid, alive and unharmed thanks to you. Hannah pulled up a holo display. Do you have any idea what you've done? Hopefully not die. Evan managed a weak grin. Hannah didn't smile. The child you saved is Thexus Velcara. His mother is High Chancellor Velcara of the Vexalian Empire, one of the 4 ruling powers of the consortium. She paused, letting that sink in. You threw yourself in front of a cargo hauler for the equivalent of galactic royalty. I threw myself in front of a cargo hauler for a kid, Evan corrected. Didn't really have time for a background check. For the first time, Hannah's expression softened slightly. That's exactly what she said you'd say. The door opened again and Evan's med bay suddenly became very crowded. 6 figures entered, each wearing the distinctive armor of different warrior cultures. A Crithian battlemaster with scales like obsidian, a Zerathian blade dancer whose 4 arms carried legendary plasma katanas, a Tormund war chief whose species had never been conquered, and 3 others whose reputations preceded them. This is him. The Crithian's voice rumbled like distant thunder. The human who performed the sacrifice leap? Hannah nodded. This is him. The warriors formed a semicircle around Evan's bed. He suddenly felt very small and very aware that he was wearing a medical gown. The Zerathian stepped forward, her crystalline eyes fixed on him. In my culture, one who throws their body before certain death to save another is called Kelthara, soul of valor. It is the highest honor. Among my people, the Tormund added, such an act earns the title of Blood Shield. You would be welcomed in our warrior lodges. Evan looked at Hannah, confusion written across his face. She allowed herself a small smile. What my colleagues are trying to say is that you've accidentally done something extraordinary. Hannah pulled up another display. Humans are considered weak by most species, fragile, cowardly even. We're not as strong as Crithians, not as fast as Zarathians, not as resilient as Tormans. Thanks for the pep talk, Evan muttered. But, Hannah continued, you did something none of them expected. You didn't calculate odds. You didn't assess your survival chances. You saw a child in danger and you moved. No hesitation. No second guessing. Just pure instinctive heroism. The Crithian warrior made a gesture that Evan's translation chip interpreted as deep respect. In all my centuries, I have seen thousands of warriors. Most are trained to suppress their fear. This human didn't suppress his fear, he simply didn't let it matter. High Chancellor Velkar has requested an audience, and Hannah said. But first she wanted us to meet you, to understand what kind of species produces individuals like you. We are the elite guard of the Galactic Defense Force, the Zarathian explained. We protect the consortium from external threats, and we have just been given new orders. Evan's head was spinning. What orders? Hannah's smile grew. The Chancellor has mandated that every GDF unit must include human personnel. She believes that courage, true instinctive courage, can't be taught, but it can be inspired. She leaned closer, her voice dropping. They think you're special, Evan, but I know the truth. You're not special. You're just human, and that's exactly what makes you extraordinary. The warriors bowed one by one before filing out. Hannah remained, studying him with those battle-hardened eyes. Rest up, freight hauler. When you're healed, we have a proposition for you. The galaxy just learned what humans are really made of. Now we need to show them that you're not an exception. You're the rule. Evan lay back, staring at the ceiling, wondering how a simple act of decency had just changed everything. Outside his window, the stars gleamed with infinite possibility. The end.